Good morning, everybody. Just thought we'd come out and chat a little while. You can throw it away now. Thought we'd come out and chat a little bit. My wife, uh, she's going to go to her. They only do this once in a while, but it's Hiawassee stuff. And she got talking to me this morning. I'll go ahead and I'll put this out there. Me and her was talking about it earlier. I said the problem with me if I go, they never get me shut up. I'd be like one of these like the YouTube videos, and they're giving me shut up. I'd be wondering, my God, I'm supposed to be talking to Jessica, and here he's just taking over the show, And I don't want to come across like it because I know how, like I told her, I know how I get when I like somebody. You can't shut me up. Like if I go in there with the intention of going somewhere, not speaking normally, like I said, sometimes there's some of them in there, and I just start talking about something, and they take me one way, and I don't mean it for it to go the way it goes and the way they do, and then I get upset. Like this last time we had, sorry, when we had something uh, come across in the wrong way down here at that clinic thing. I didn't even I didn't even waste my time hearing my blood results. I didn't. I was just still ticked off. It'd been a few days, and I still wasn't in no mood to talk to him. I told my wife, I don't know if I can go back in there or not. But anyway, I just want to come out and uh, say a few things and talk and invite some of our subscribers if they're on. I don't know, but my wife want to come out and join in and talk on this video for a while. And go ahead, Annie. Whatever you want
I
to say.
just feel like you guys are pushing me away. You females are single, because I really want to put that out here just more because I told my husband I feel like people are pushing me away because I'm different, and I'm not trying to yell or scream or anything. It's just that's how I really feel. I feel like I'm just not wanted, and I miss doing fun things with my husband, like I told him. I don't force him to go somewhere he doesn't feel comfortable. I don't, because I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to force people to do certain things they don't want to do. I mean, if you guys want to take our unicorn Bessie, I appreciate it. If you don't, I understand. I just want to be loved and take care of and do fun things with, and live with a beautiful woman that's single that don't have a lot going on. I just want to get out of this hellhole that we're in, and I feel bad for my husband. We had to live in this hellhole, and he said, he told me this morning, he said, there ain't a lot out here in Decatur, and there ain't, much to do, and I don't blame him staying home. I mean, there ain't, he said it's hard for me to be dragging him around trying to get out. But I do love
Well,
my husband. I'm not mad at him. It's just I just have a lot going on. I mean, that's why I try to make videos. Trying to get a unicorn bestie because I really want this. And I try not to show emotion because I'm very emotional. But I just want you guys to know I feel like you know that you guys are pushing me away, and it's hard for me to say that. But here's my husband.
okay. Well, eh, like I told her, you get me. They tried to get me when my dad passed away. Like them people she's gonna go see. Some of them like that. I told her I said you'd get me in one of them places and I never shut up. And that bus driver would be coming out. Are you done? Is he done? I told her I could just imagine. I told her this morning, and she's trying to sweeten it up. So, oh, Derek, I know these couple of them. It's in there. I know they're single that work there and all that stuff. I said, yeah, but I don't want to come across as and she said, well, I told them about this stuff. And yeah, I said, I know, but and they'll sit in there and they'll wish you good luck. I mean, I, you know, you know, I've seen some of these people like, they used to do these house visits and they come out here and you couldn't even tell them what music you liked, what you watched on TV with them snapping. And I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why now that besides my wife, I mean, and Connie, there was one named Connie I met before I met my wife. And for anybody out there, she don't mind. I mean, she talks about her past ones too. So anybody that but I've told her these people, but it's one of these things that you don't meet many people out there in the world that generally understand that it's not that. I guess I'll explain it this way. It's not that me and my wife want to be lazy and that we don't want to work and that we don't want to explore certain areas. But as I said yesterday and made the comment, it boils down to who is up over you and how they treat all of the people around them, how they are they just because they have a job that requires them to be in somewhat over you because somebody's over them, right? So they have someone they answer to, and then if there's somebody over them, and then uh, if they, um, you know, have someone to answer to. Yeah, some people like me will come straight out and will just be so blunt and so honest. And like I told my wife, you could tell people that, but then when I get in there and if I go, like she's kind of hinted me, she want me to go, and she has all that stuff going through her head, and she knows I don't. It's not because of her. I'm afraid of what damage I cause people because I'm a certain way, and unless you like me the way I am, I can't guarantee that you'll like anything that I have to say. I can run somebody off within 5 minutes if they're not used to me or don't give me that time. Like I told her, I said I always try, to the best of my knowledge, I always try to keep in mind people have got things they do, and they have family that's up their butt, and that loves them in a good way. But they're always, there's so much stuff. I told my wife, almost any person that you ever meet, unless they are just not got nothing going on and just pure old, like I drew it up, like I told my wife, like this thing that she, wants, and I do too. Like I said, we've said it many times. But the thing is, if you're not going to give anybody time to really get to know you, and if somebody's trying to be pushy and push all their stuff on you, like we had something up here a year ago and they were doing all that stuff, I'm not going to go over all that again, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff there that if it wasn't in there and all I was getting was what was in front of me, it'd be a whole different story. But these people, like the people that my wife's going to go see at these Hawassi places, they program these people to be, they don't want, the music they like is that stuff that don't have any words. This is the majority of them now. Like if I went in there and I said, hey, I like, if I named a band or something, they look at me like I was crazy. These people, these people, they don't generally come out And I shaved, by the way, so I don't know whether you like my look or not. Uh, but it felt like doing it this morning. So if I look different, I shaved this morning. Um, but anyway, I just I don't know. I mean, I always was used to being myself and just kind of you know doing doing what I thought was best, even though people might not have thought it was the best. But I always did. I always you know told my wife. I explained to her earlier. I feel bad that she was made to look bad by her own people, and I told her, I said the reason they didn't like me is because I was too open, too blunt. They want to play this whole God shit. It's ghost in the sky mess, and she does it in a way that don't offend me. I mean, she understands that there's not a lot of proof there. I mean, there's stuff that I'm not going to sit here and dispute, but there's a lot of things. It's like I said, I could go out here and if I want to know anything about any one of these famous people, they've got books out there, athletes, sports athletes, you name it, right? You can go out there and buy it, and somebody can't put that book down, right? Because it's that good. I like it because I like this person. I like their movies or their music or whatever they're doing. But generally speaking, when you get someone like me, and there ain't but a few of me out left that tells it like it is. I had a young lady yesterday, I guess it was a lady, she wrote, hell yeah, 'cause she liked what I was saying and something to it. She had a couple other things that she said in it. But, I told my wife yesterday, I guess I had 10 people prior to yesterday. I had like 10 people subscribed to my channel. And then yesterday I got like 12 people in one day. For somebody who came out and like I said, we had a few of everything. We had some mixed reviews. We had some, it was kind of jumping on our subscribers, and some of them that was trying to actually make a conversation. One of the guys was saying, "See what you're doing." Because he was upset that they were upsetting my wife and all that. And like I said, I appreciate that. Like I said, I apologize for any of those boneheads. They normally generally ain't nobody ever, and I do. You can ask my wife. I do. We do these videos all the time. There's usually nobody comes out here. We had a buddy over at, the fire that, he got to where I got to where I just didn't like talking to him anymore. He just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It just, he, I met him. He came up to the fair, and like I said, I'm not gonna insult him or beat him up, but he just, he just, he gave me this. I was talking to him on here. He was watching my video while I was on here, and I was bringing up some stuff and was just talking. And next thing I know, he joined in, and so I got talking to him a little more, and was talking into the video about some stuff like I always do. And he goes on about, I tell him, I said, basically, I've tried everything. I've tried Facebook, tried Twitter, tried all this stuff, and he gives me this old Mingo or old Mingo or old Mingo, however you say it, old Mingo. I don't know how. Old Mingle. God. Anyway, some stupid, random. There's a bunch of these. And trust me, I know I can't. Mingle. Old Mingle. Anyway, so there's a bunch I've noticed, and I know this because I've done a little research myself, just putting stuff in. If you type in free chat, free cam chat, free blah blah blah, whatever, you can get a lot of these different types of chat things, and it'll say, oh, they'll say, they'll pair you up with random people, and the problem with those things, and I know this, the problem with it is they'll try to tell you, oh, don't do this, don't put your personal thing out there, don't put that or this, but yet they'll pair you up and they'll say, oh, put what you want out there, but it's not really up to you who your target audience is or what type of person you're wanting to talk to. It's just some old random person, and like, if you a lot of times, you get somebody and they'll say, for example, they'll say, you know, um, they'll, you'll say hi, hello, something like that, and you'll talk to them. They might ask you 2 or 3 questions, and next thing you know, they're no longer on there. Or if you even try to, if they see you on camera and and you're, if you decided to do the camera thing for a minute, they're they're on there 5 seconds and boom, they're usually off. They don't they just it's a bunch of these random foreign guys or these just people that's not they're not interested, and it's just a bunch of random people. And of course, I said my piece on a video about this guy that handed me this suggested this stuff. I said, my God, I said, be one thing. I said, be one thing if it was a local chat thing, where I could go and put, hey, 5 miles, anybody within 5 miles of me, I could understand that or something. But there's no options on these things. There's no, nothing. I mean, you get on there and they're from Sweden, they're from wherever, from another country. You can tell when they get on there. So I naturally, yeah, this guy that suggested that, I had enough. I said, man, what you know, and so like I said, I came out here yesterday, and I guess we started with 10 subscribers, and I ended up with 12 new ones. At the end of the day, I was like 22. Man, that's pretty good in one day. Initially, when I came out, was going to do a video yesterday. I was just telling about our day and was going to tell what happened to us, just wrap it up. And next thing I know, all these other people came out and was chatting with us. And like I said, there was a few good, a few bad, but most of them were good and favorable. Some of them were being silly and hating black women or hating, some of my subscribers. I put them on the snooze list. I have a thing where I realize when somebody chats on my thing, I can go on there and they're not allowed to see my video anymore. Not allowed to chat with us because I just don't like people making fun of anybody's color or anybody's background, because that's just rude. I don't disrespect people of color. You are what you are. You come out the way you come out, you know, and you just people out, and then some people might say, well, you didn't live back in those times when the white people were being the way they was to blacks or whatever. Yeah, but that, and the whole discrimination thing that was going on. Well, and like I said, that brings up Martin Luther King and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I look at it this way. Yeah, maybe white people, maybe some white people taking me or my wife out of this, but maybe there's still some white people who are racist, and maybe they look at people of color. I know that I know there's some people who do still do that, but I'm so thankful for today's. One thing I can say is I don't see it as much, or it don't seem like I hear about it enough. Uh, to where like it's that unless it's a news story, which I don't watch the news. But like sometimes on the news, you'll hear they'll pick out a person on purpose, and they'll pick out something. It could be in California, it could be in Washington, and some cop of color will you know uh, shoot a white man, but they won't say nothing about it. But yet, if it's the reverse of that, they'll go on this thing, and they'll have all these religious people and these people that say, "Oh yeah, this guy was racist and that he shot this." You know, they never talk about African American people shooting other African American people or vice versa. It's just they got to intentionally insult our intelligence with these picked out stories on purpose so they have a narrative to act racist themselves. And I'm just not like that. I give anybody my time. I talk to anybody. And if they want it, like I told my wife, if she went up there today and then she probably has told these people, and I'm sure they have. That one time there was a woman that she's going to go up there and see today. She wanted to talk to me on the phone. I just don't feel comfortable, you know. Because I know I got to watch what I do, what I say. I can't be myself. I know my wife wants me to get us out of this hellhole, and I want to get out of it. Trust me, I do. It's just I know my limitations. She's a rare find. My wife don't. I guess she doesn't really put a lot of thought to. She does at points, but she has this stuff. Sometimes it comes to her head and her mind. But she's not beating me up about it. Like she said, well, I ain't gonna just force him to go, and like I'm gonna hold a gun to his head and make him go. But I told her we'd never get out of them places if I went in there. And and I don't even like those Hawassi people that came out here. The last time we had one of them, the most of them rub you the wrong way. They tattletale and everything else. We had one of them that brought us home one time from the store, and they went and told their boss about it, and then of course she you know got in trouble. But and you say, well, why would she do that? Well, I don't know. Don't ask me. I say what nobody knows about won't hurt them, right? So again, I keep stuff to myself. If this stuff happened today, if you went in there and one of them said, hey, yeah, whatever. Maybe they know somebody goes in there. Maybe somebody that's like a Connie or like my wife, that's pretty and beautiful, but they're able to be talked to, and they like people like me. And my wife's gotten used to me now. She's been with me, 11 years. There was a lot of stuff like she mentioned last night on video. She mentioned about, and I know this, I wasn't trying to make her choose between her friends or family, but it got down to the point where I told her I'm not interested in anything she's got to offer. I mean, everybody that she threw at me, I rejected to talk to them eventually. They caused me, I could have had a heart attack, stroke, dealing with these people, and they don't know who they are. But they just they never respected me at all. They never give me the time of day. I'm not saying, oh, I want to be the star of the show, but they just never, they at the time when she was dealing with a lot of these, a lot of these people, she was getting her time because of what the situation was and the timing of the situation. Like I told her that last one we had up here, if you'd have gave her to me 10 years ago, when me and my wife first met, maybe that person at 20 would have been better than when she was at 30. Like I said, she'd have barely been out of school. And maybe that person would have done better. She wouldn't have had those damn brats. or at least not both of them. Well, none of them actually. But anyway, yeah, it'd been a couple of years before the oldest one. But you know, maybe if you'd hand me somebody like that prior to all that, maybe there was something there we could have tapped into with somebody like that. But again, it just timing is everything. And sometimes you don't understand why things happen to you. Why is it that people want to treat other people bad? Why do they want to treat us bad because we're handicapped? We can't help it. Just like, y'all want kids, but the minute that one of you want kids, and there's mothers out here like this, so trust me. And then when they find out, oh man, they're gonna have to be, cared for beyond, what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna have two good legs, they're gonna have two good arms, and they're gonna just, they're gonna be this perfect baby. No, you could have a baby like me. You could have a baby like my wife. You could they could wind up some. I was told by my own mother, that the reason I ended up the way I was because they couldn't get me out in time, but they got me out before it got too bad. And without getting too graphic on here, but it's just you know, um, it's just you know, sometimes you get someone like that. And I told my wife it's going to take somebody that either knows how to deal with people like me and it can understand it. It may be somebody up there that she's told me about. And like I said, I don't care to know everything about. But one of them would probably be more willing to actually go out and say, "Yeah, I'd come out there." And if I ain't got anything better to do, if the worst thing they do is they work at one of these high places, then or if they had a job of some kind, the worst thing you're going to have to do is wait till they get off. But and I'm gonna say so. My wife's in here. I wouldn't mind them, if that they thought there's something in that they liked or something. Okay, but I'm not hating on people. There ain't enough nice people to go around. You know, so when you do meet one of these rare few, that are, I would like to extend the offer to actually just be away from there because I don't want to take away from my wife's appointment, or anybody's, because they're wanting to see them, wants to know how they're doing and how. Like I told my wife, if you're smart, you don't go in there and tell them every time you get into a little fuss or an argument, because then you'll never get out of there. You know what I'm saying? But some of them, like the crack whore Susan deal, she'll go in there and you'll be in there for 2 or 3 hours for sure. You'll never get her out of there. She'll never shut up. If you ask her about her past, I know because I bet I was in that situation. She'll never shut up. So, it's like I said, you get me in there, and I wouldn't have anything bad to talk about necessarily, but when I was offered, they oh boy, I'm gonna get dirt good. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm gonna just, and I was like, I know how to deal with my dad being gone. Like I said, I'm the only one that brings him up, besides my wife. But I mean, as far as in the in the family, I'm the only one that brings him up. Everybody else got an excuse. Well, now he's gone. It's well, you can still talk about him, remember him. What's wrong with it? It's like I said, I ain't really hardly got nothing bad to say about him. Yeah, he's the only person that I do know that never changed. My brother changed. All the other people's changed. My mom's changed. Everybody. I go through everybody that I've ever come in contact with, basically. I'm the only ones that never changed besides Danny. If I had to have a close second, I would say Melissa and Mark and probably Papa Dan. because they really never changed. But everybody else, from Regina, Jason, and the whole nine, everybody, you could line them all up. They just, once they got their foot stuck in something, they just changed, or they just always had this thing about me. They wouldn't let me be myself. If I'd have brought, like I told my wife, if I'd have brought anybody home back then, if I'd have punched a ticket here and punched a ticket there, I never would have seen Jessica. I could have punched several tickets. She could have punched several tickets. She did before she met me, but I'm saying I could have punched any ticket that I wanted to. Made any choice I wanted to. I could have took boneheads off her. He found me somebody one time, and I told him not to. He went ahead and done it anyway. I had to embarrass her in front of everybody and tell her and she offered me friendship at the end of the day, and I said, no, I just don't want anything. Again, when I tell you something, I mean it, And, that's what I'm saying. My days at school, or my days, doing anything fun, are probably long gone. And, I have to face that. I have to face the reality of that just might be wishful thinking. The way I drew this whole thing up, that I had hoped for me and my wife, I just don't know that it's ever going to get anywhere. I mean, like I said, she may go up there and talk to them today, and they're supposed to be here in a little bit.
Yeah,
but she may go up there today, and they might wish her good luck with it. There's nothing. I mean, like I said, I'm not begging or pleading for one of them to do anything. But it's just, it would be nice if they would take, away from their job. If they wanted to actually get to know me, I would rather see them out here where I could, away from their job, where I'm not interfering with my wife's stuff. I don't want to come across like that. My wife knows what I'm trying to say. Because, like I told her, I could really, unintentionally be the star of a show. I could put me up a pulpit up out here and have everybody, wanting to shoot a gun off or something, and because I know that I could do that, and I'd have that effect on people. That's why I said I don't get up in front of churches. I don't get up in front of a lot of people. I do this because it gives me something to do. And like I said, you meet every once in a while, you meet a couple of nice people, and you don't know what they look like. You probably won't get nothing out of them, but probably whatever they say on here. And you probably might, you might even get some of them to be like a text buddy. You might get, and maybe they might be one of them call you, like that old fucking Cameron or whoever it is. It came out of nowhere that ain't no good, at least on my behalf. There's nothing good in that. But anyway, you get people like that that are, got their own little box, worse than me. At least I'm gonna tell you, I don't like to be around guys, but women wouldn't bother me too bad. I just have my preference. Like my wife said, she at first she didn't like the idea. I mean, when I brought this up, she's just kind of, because it was something she didn't think about. And I said, our families aren't doing as well, and we're not, having any luck with it. And I thought, I had this one lady just come out of nowhere, like I said before, came out of nowhere, and I didn't ask her to, but she wrote me like on one of these long messages, so I responded back, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I thought, man, this might be something to check out. And then everybody, once it's out and open, they all get jealous, and then they try to say, oh, it's fake and all this other stuff. There's nothing. It's scam and all that stuff. And again, I can't tell anybody who wasn't here, whether you're white, black, mixed, whatever, gender-wise, whatever you are, I can't tell you, oh, yeah, it was a real person. We know that. My wife and I know she was a real person, but you can't tell just in it because they wouldn't understand. And no matter what I said, no matter what I explained about anything that I explained, like I said, everybody's gonna. It's what kind of makes you, if you did have that person, and like I said, she's more than welcome to no wife's more than welcome to see if one of them might want it. But like I said, it's kind of odd now, looking at. I told her it'd be my luck that you'll run into somebody after we gave up all those rings. It's not really, and I'll be honest with you, it's not really. It's not really that it's about a ring as much as it's. I know we bought that stuff. I bought one for my wife, but she had a hard time wearing rings, and I got an extra one just in case. We had them almost 14 months, and so nobody has come, since it was April of 2021. So, yeah, it's been almost 14 months. So, give or take. So, I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, I'd be glad, to go out there after I met somebody, if it's one of these she's brought up or whatever. She might walk in there today and they might say, oh, well. And like I said, if they was away from their job or something, and they really, said, "Hey, I'd really like to, do this or that or whatever," I didn't know I could give them my time, but I don't want to go in there and just take over or look like I'm trying to take over because it's her stuff. It's my wife's stuff, and like I told my wife in the bathroom, I know she wouldn't mind me talking, but when I like somebody, I talk too much. And then when you want me to talk, I don't talk enough, or to my wife's, liking. She was raised up a little different around a big crowd of stuff. It's just she couldn't help it. It was, there was more girls, more action, there was more stuff. Like I said, when she moved down here, there's nothing. You're lucky if you get she knows this. If you get a fire, right? You get a fire, you're lucky down here. It's nothing. She's been to bigger fairs, been to bigger theme parks, bigger things. Like I said, Lake Winnie be the one thing that she would, like I told her, I said, if I went there, I'd never want to leave. If you had me in a theme park, I never want to leave. Okay, I have fun with that stuff, but like I said, it's just, it's tough, men in our shoes, nobody really understands or has, gives you the appropriate time. That's why I don't want to work anywhere, for one thing, is get these people always, like I said earlier, you always just seem like you get somebody when you're trying to do your job, you're trying to do something, and you got these people offering you their husband and here, look at my kids, and like I said, I have no right to nobody. I had no, I don't deserve it if it ain't got nothing to do with me, or it ain't going to have my name on it or my wife's name on it. I don't want it. If they're not going to give me the same time they gave their own family to get to know them and whoever else they met before us, like I said, you're going to meet a ton of people. And like I've said before, in reality, you may have to give some of that up to get me and my wife. If somebody out there did that. And like I said, one of these, if she goes up her day, they may, who knows? And they might say, "Well, Derek, you'll like mine." Yeah, you might, and then might not, and then I put you in a bad spot. See, that's what I don't want to do, because I'm not guaranteeing nothing when it comes to anybody. Because I've seen enough people as it is. But yeah, it's just what it is today. Everything's changed, everybody, from technology to how you get your news to how, all this new stuff works. Yesterday I did like 5 videos. So I answered some questions. So if my subscribers see some, that came out here, I don't know if they'll be on today or not, but it was just a pure old luck yesterday, that there was a lot more people on and a lot of people took, time out to, like I said, there's more good than there was bad. There's a few bad ones, of course. You get that sometimes, but generally, people wants to know, well, what's all this about? So yeah, it's just we come out and just chat about stuff. We're not, we're not really looking for anything or nothing. It's just, hey, we're saying, hey, there's, like my wife had said, hey, if there was somebody cool and, could really, but I may, you get, I might even feel led to, before my wife has to go in a little while, might write might offer a letter. It might write me. I don't do letters, my wife. My writing, it's not the best, but I have wrote a few letters in my time, a few times. And like I said, my writing's never usually the best, but because I do, I won't, and I come off, and I won't say this, I come off like people that's mixed or black or whatever more than I do my own race. Because I find a lot more people that's actually white or are a lot more, for some reason, their culture or their upbringing is just ass backwards. And like I said, there's also bad, in every race, but there's like, black people, the black men, for example, will wear, you'll see some of them where their underwear is showing and they have their pants down around their, almost down around their ankles and stuff out there sagging around or something. I don't like those kind of people, but like I'm not going to hate on somebody of color that's being themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I know like there'll be names, that a colored person or black or whatever you want to call them, African American, they'll come out and they'll have a name that you've never heard of, uh, and it'll sound pretty and it's hard to say, or it might be cool to say, who knows? But it's like, generally, for the most part, it seems like our own race, our Caucasian white or whatever you want to call it, our race seems to be a lot more tougher to get along with. I generally find myself, and you say, "Oh, you're hating on your." No, I'm just saying it seems like we don't realize that. And like I said about foreign ladies, I've never met a foreign lady, but I've always heard that they're nicer. Most American women didn't understand, especially the whites. They don't understand for some reason. I had one down here, like I said, over a little over a year ago, was out here accusing me of stuff. They're putting me down that she's never met me before. I never met her before. She is so tough and hard on me. I'm like, why? Why couldn't you just be smiling and be happy and just be yourself? I know that Susan shit I got, it wasn't her. It wasn't her. It was a different version of her. She could have been better than that. My wife knows what I'm talking about. She could have been a whole lot better than that. But I gotta move on, As I said, I know my wife, it hurt, but I know that wasn't her true self. I understood where she came from as far as wanting to tell me some stuff. And I've got ears to listen. But if you come out here and tell me, and I gotta like your friends, and I gotta like your kids, and I've gotta just have all this stuff up my ass that I didn't ask for, by the way. And because if I'd known half of it, like I told my wife, if I had been told over the phone, hey, this woman, if she'd have remembered to tell me. Like I said, a lot of this stuff was on Facebook, and she'd only probably seen her once or twice and probably said something back once or twice, and that was it. And that's why I said, had you give me that person 10 years ago versus when I met her, you probably would have seen a lot more difference in her. She probably would not been that way. I mean, hell, she'd just been out of school at the very least. And, who knows if she'd have had any of this stuff started at the time or just starting out. She definitely wouldn't have had the kids. But I'm just saying, you probably give me, and I'd have been a lot younger too. I'd have been about 20 something myself. So, there's about let's see, she what, 30. There's about a 6, 7, 8 year difference in age, So I'd been about probably 26, 27, 28. She'd been about 20, and my wife had been in her 20s. Like I say, maybe if we'd met her, and somewhere down the road like that, a lot sooner, I definitely wouldn't have come off that bad, and like I said, I know it's in there. She just wanted to hide it. There's something good, and I'll say this: there is something good about that lady, but she just won't. People like her don't want to be themselves. They want to be this total other person. And they'll sit here and they'll try to argue signposts probably and tell you, "Oh, I was being myself. I was doing this." No, you were being a total idiot. You were not being who you should have been. You didn't give me the same respect you give your mama and your daddy and your brother and everybody else. People like you always try to undermine what's right. You know better, but you try to undermine what's right. And that's why people like me don't stand a chance. No matter what my wife tries to do, no matter if she tries to sprinkle you up, make you sound like lollipops, rainbows, and the whole 9 yards. If you can't be yourself, I have no chance. I had to realize that. And next time, like I said, if there would be a next time, I won't waste 5 minutes. And I'll say, look, there's the door. And it'll be the last time that I ever fool with anybody if I have to do that. Like I told my wife, I'm getting too old for that. She is too. She's a little bit younger than me, but I'm not going to keep this rolling till, like she said, till I'm 50, 60 years old. I'm not doing that. If they somebody, they'll come out here within the next little while, and if not, and then we know it's over. We know, regardless of what, we could say, hey, yeah, we tried, we did all we could do within what we have. We're not like a lot of people where we get out there and do a lot of this high tech app stuff, and all that stuff. But we try to come out here and give people a chance to talk or chat or anything. It's pretty quiet this morning so far, but generally we'll come out and tell you how our day is. Mainly, like I said, it's not that hard to tell. We do stuff that's normal, everyday stuff. It's, like fix something to eat. And other than that, we might take a nap rarely during the day or something if there's nothing to do. Maybe go and she might go on one of her walks. She'll go out and feed her bunnies. She might do, stuff around the house, sweep, wash clothes. And that thing's normally making a racket. And all that stuff. But like, there ain't a whole lot you can do when you're in our shoes, and the way that things played out. Like I said, some people are spoiled little brats and have $1 million in their family, and they're rich people, and they don't understand that they come off as in bad taste, because that most likely will make them treat us different. They won't have the respect of a person or understand a person like me or my wife, and they'll look back at all this stuff, and they'll be probably one of these days when they're no longer able to do as much as they were in their younger years. They'll be, man, I wish I had done this differently, or wish I'd have done something like. But yeah, like I said, people just have that way about them, and I just men, who they are, but it's what makes us different. It's what makes. I mean, like I said, I may get off here in a few minutes and do something here in a minute, and let my wife take it up there and write a little nice thing and kind of do it that way. So, at least they could say, hey, they could take it back there and they could read it. But, but, because, I mean, like I said, she could tell them whatever she wants to tell them when she goes in there today. But, like I said, it's tough, like I said, I know what I am. I know what my wife is. I know what she was used to. I know what I was used to when I was brung up around. It's two different cultures, but we made it work. A rare time that somebody came from one of these big states and moved all the way down here, And like I said, you don't see enough, but most people that's far out are not a lot nicer. I would say the ones that are far out, they're the ones that are actually nicer. And then the ones that seem to be close to home, at least, because like I said, all white people aren't bad. But the majority of them I meet just seem to be just the world's worst. And then there's nothing to them. They don't seem to be, all there, and they're not themselves. You can tell when I can tell when somebody's sitting in front of me whether they're being themselves or they're just putting on an act, you know. And I can pretty well tell what they're doing because they're trying to find a reason not to be here. I don't know why you would put yourself in a position to do that if you don't have anything to offer. You know, if you don't really have anything to offer that's above and beyond, the stuff that I know me and my wife knows that won't work. That won't be enough. And like I told her, all these people would come out here and they'd just tell a bunch of lies. They'd tell a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could call, text, or what have you, and they could, be, um, you could plan to go with somebody, do something, and next thing you know, they'll just throw their hand. They'll text you, call you, and they'll just say, oh yeah, by the way, I got, this came up, that came up. See, yeah, that's the difference between me and the most people today. Like I said, yeah, you could look at it how you want to. Well, it's just because he didn't, hey, well, even if I had enough to do and kept busy, and if I happened to be able to be the opposite of that, I still hope I had enough in me to still be myself and allow myself to have as much time as possible for something, and not mistreat them and not mistreat it. If it's something nice, it's something that I generally like. I want to be the same person. And I know you can't do it for everybody, but there's always, like I said, my wife and I have room for whatever's to come. Once the offer's there and it's taken, whoever, whether it ends today or it ends whenever in the next year or so, I'll see if it ends, if there's something there, give you enough time. Maybe give you a couple of years, but like I said, once we reach that point, you know, the door's going to close every day. Like I've told my wife, every day that goes by, every minute, every second that goes by is just another little bit you're not going to get. The longer it takes, the more time it's gone. So if y'all are out there, and Lord knows I made enough of these videos. So if you're out there and you're just not, and like I said, my wife, and I know generally I've been asked this question, well, you feel comfortable, talking on that video thing? And yeah, because I'm here at my house. I don't, there's not much else, like I said, to do. It's not like it's, somebody out far out and playing games like a lot of these people do. I know what I got here. I know what I'm doing, but, but yeah, and here in a little bit, so Cetra will be here, like I said earlier, and see what they comes out of her appointment today. See what usually she comes home in a good mood. So these newer people, I don't think they're as bad as these ones that I used to see it coming out here. But like I say, I still try to be mindful of stuff like that. Try to be, mindful of their time and what they might have, what they might not have. Who knows? Everybody's bags are different. Mine and my wife's aren't that full, and they're almost empty. So we're trying to say, hey, we'd have enough time to enough. If we could make something like that. And we have that, but like I said, there'd be a lot of stuff have to change. It'd have to move. It'd have to have somewhere to go. Those kind of things. Once we got to knowing you and all that stuff, but you know. But anyway, looks like everybody's gonna be quiet today. So I'm almost an hour hour in. So like I said, traditionally most of the time it's an hour. They're a little over an hour, but usually that's about the length of the normal video for me. So generally, I don't have a whole lot. My wife don't have a whole lot to put out, but we just thought we might come out and see what might be out here today. So again, it just might be that nobody's up right now, but we welcome any new people, subscribers. Like I said, if you got any suggestions for like a kind of some kind of playlist or something, maybe throw some ideas out. Maybe it could, like I said, this might be all we get, But anyway, almost at an hour, so I'll go till it hits an hour here, I guess. Not that far off, but yeah, we just probably gonna do the same usual stuff. Probably watch the Braves. I think they play today. I think it was an off day yesterday. I think I looked. It was game comes on. I think they played 7 o'clock tonight. So we'll probably watch that. Check that out and see what goes on there. They're doing fairly decent. They're doing pretty good. Even when they lose, they don't lose by a lot. And I don't think like I told my wife, I don't think they've been goose egged yet. I think we've at least got a couple of runs. So, or at least one each time we've lost. So, I mean, if you get one run, yay. At least you ain't got a zero. I don't think we've lost a game yet that's not had at least some type of a number on it. So we're probably bound to get one of those, but at least it won't. The Braves are one of those teams. They're fun to watch. We got the tomahawk chop, got all that stuff. And they got a little following. They got a thing, where they come out there and they do certain things. It's not like most teams, it's just like going there and there ain't nothing to excite the fans or no, you know, we got that stuff from one of the Florida Seminole teams or whatever, one of the football teams. It caught on and got out, and they used to have a different mascot than we do now. And the one now you wouldn't even know it exists. It don't even make sense. But there used to be an actual guy that wore makeup and looked like an Indian and called Chief Nakahoma. I thought my dad was just making up some of this shit, But I realized I looked him up, and saw he was still living. I think he's still living. He had told somebody about how he got to be the Braves mascot when they first started back in I believe it was 1966. So he was the mascot for about, close to 20, 25, 30 years, whatever it was, and finally something about their controversy came out about the tribes or the Indians, something. It took them like 30 years. So they came up with some kind of something, and they said that they just, came up with a reason not to like the idea for the mascot. But he'd liven up the party, um, stuff like that. He was a young guy then, but he had been around for a long time. But like I said, if you'd asked who's the Braves mascot or who's this mascot or whatever, the only one I could tell you that I could point out is that Philly Fanatic, thing. I know that's been in several, things, but most time mascots anymore they don't stand out. They're just blood. They don't have nothing to offer, nothing. No, but I don't know how they see those goddamn costumes it is anyway. They, I don't know. I'd be running into stuff, and I don't know unless there's. I mean, I've never been a mascot, so I don't know. But no, I just anyway. Probably I'll come back out probably this evening or sometime later on. Have at least one more chance. See if there might be something come out. But anyway, we'll see you later.